Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
In Pennsylvania, they were trying to set up a process that would allow this country to return to what it was in 1876 when the election got thrown into the House of Representatives, and they were able to overturn what Abraham Lincoln and Congress had done, successfully getting rid of slavery. That is what they're attempting to do today.
Oh my God, they figured it out. Dang it, we had such a perfect plan. Once we got Donald Trump in office, we were going to bring back slavery. Damn you, James Clyburn. Yeah, that's how low they've gotten. They say that the Republicans are going to bring back the Democrat slavery.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
James Clyburn.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Isn't that how the View reacted?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Exactly what I did a little subtext stack this morning about the desire of the Republican Party to turn us back to slavery, which is what James Clyburn says. Oh my God, and no pushback from the Viewcast at all. No pushback from the Harpies from Hell. No pushback at all. And I was thinking about this. I said, here's some other things that we might try. Republicans getting rid of combines so cotton has to be picked by hand by slaves, because, you know, we really need that. Republicans want all antebellum mansions to be owned by, populated by only white people. Old slave quarters to be refurbished using public lunch counters at Woolworths, white people to eat. But then, of course, the next step would be bringing back Woolworths, only for the sake of making sure that blacks and whites eat separately. I mean, honestly, my God, what the bleep? What in the bloody bleep is wrong with you stupid people? They're so I told you, they die like movie vampires. Dragging, kicking, trying to drag us into hell with proposing all sorts of preposterous things like the Republicans want to bring back slavery. My God, are you that stupid? Are you as dumb as the average Somalian? Because in Somalia, the average IQ is like 76. No, there was a real global chart of it. But we think we're at 105. I think the U.S. is at 105. Whoever did this poll thingy, they said that China was number one. Okay, sure, China's number one. Why did they have to steal all of our ideas in case then? Why did they have to steal all our stuff? We came up with them. We flew to the moon. We created rock and roll and jazz and airplanes and stuff. And yet the Chinese are more intelligent than us, and they had to steal our ideas so they could copy them. It's kind of weird, but the average Somali is about a 76, right above Forrest Gump, maybe right below Forrest Gump. It is. It's just remarkable. And then Pam Grier, she used to be on some of those blaxploitation movies in the 1970s when I was a little kid, and she says when she was born in 1949. She would look out the window, and her mother would have to deflect her eyes from the lynched black people hanging in the trees.
Tree shade to get back to the apartment. My brother and my mom with bags, and my mom would go, don't look. She'd pull us away because there is someone hanging from a tree. And they have a memorial for it now where you can see where people were and left. And it triggers me today.
Oh, you bet. Well, the only problem is the last person to be lynched anywhere near where she was 1911. So maybe she's a time traveler. But of course, the the Viewcast gobble it up. They gobble it up like masticated worms being puked out of their mother bird's mouth. Just bleh, there you go. Oh, gobble, 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 gobble. So stupid. I mean, I'm just honestly, this is why I say that conservative comedy is ascending, because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. It's so bloody stupid. And I don't know who they're trying to appeal to. I don't know who James Clyburn is trying to appeal to. I guess Democrats. I guess it makes sense. Because, I talked to a guy here who I work with, and I just mentioned the other day about Somali fraud, because he works in the healthcare industry. And I said, man, about that all Somali fraud. He's like, oh, you believe that? I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe in the mountains of evidence and the people who've already been convicted and all of that. But he's a liberal, so he's willing to deny it. That's even happening, for God's sake. This is your Democrat Party. They are, I don't even know what they are. They're not mind-numbed robots. I think Rush used to call them mind-numb robots. I don't even know what the hell they are. They're just awful freaking people. I think that's the big part of it. They're just awful freaking people. It really is ridiculous. And you want to hear something that's pretty amazing? Despite it all, and maybe we should all know better, Donald Trump is still as popular or more popular with the base. I think the Democrat Party, they've been saying for a while that the Republican base is leaving Donald Trump. They said it was going to happen because of this, and they said it was going to happen because of that. And just about a month ago, well, they were going to leave him because of what he said about Rob Reiner and and his death and all of that. They were convinced everybody, the Republican Party's leaving its base. No, it's not.
It's a huge deal because President Trump is the king. This is congressional and gubernatorial. In 2020, it was 98%.
Yeah.
In 2022, it was 95%. Yeah. In 2024, it was 96%.
Yeah.
President Trump has the magic touch when it comes to
your high.
We love
subsidies, but we need the subsidies have been corrosive.
Yeah, Ford's not going to make the F-150 Lightning anymore, and Detroit is going back to gas engines because the electric thing is such a joke.
They've not only cost taxpayer money, but then they've led to more
But Virginia, by God, old Abigail Spamberger, she's going to double down on stupid.
Expensive electricity bills. We lose twice. So we're doing everything we can in the Trump administration to stop the rise in energy prices.
So money that was going to go to green energy, to subsidize green energy, is instead going back to the Treasury?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought that green energy was going to be like an all of the above, like a part of the energy dominance.
No, because it's absolute crap.
Platform. Is this take it off the table? What's going on?
With green energy, and again, I don't agree with the name, but with solar and wind and electric vehicles, which is where most of the money has gone.
Complete joke.
They've just barely gotten to 3% of United States energy and 2.5% of...
Yeah, and those windmills are giant bird salad shooters. So there's that. But bravo, when you endorse a rhino candidate, this is what you get. Way to go, Virginia. Woo, woo, woo. Way to go, Virginia. Way to go, Glenn Youngkin. I don't think Glenn Youngkin's ever going to be the president. And I think old Winsome ain't going to be a major player in the Republican Party anymore either. Let's take a break and come back. I'm going to figure out the stream here. I don't know what the hell the problem was with the stream, but we'll get to it. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Somalis are all on welfare, and the Dems just seem to not care. Ilhan Omar, she needs to go. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. Many are anti-Semitic. Their statements have been pathetic. They're a threat to all you know. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. They are always expressing hate of America. Why are they here? Must deport before it's too late. Talk about holiday cheer. Our language, they will not learn it. Own money, refuse to earn it. They are gaming the system so. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
Here's the snapback. Beck looks, throws it down the field, and it is intercepted by Indiana. Wow, what a play! And it is Jamari Sharp who comes up with a pick, and he runs into the end zone. They're going to call a penalty. But Indiana intercepted the football.
He's coached many.
I got to tell you, I watched this game last night. I haven't watched the NCAA College Football Championship in a while, and I certainly haven't sat for the post game for the presentation of the trophy until this year. Tony Kennett, Daily Signal, WIBC in glorious Indianapolis, Indiana, joins us on the. Have you slept today? Have you slept after that victory?
Man, I tell you what, I probably did not get to sleep until about 2 a.m. I actually got a call from Senator Jim Banks, who was down there with the president, and for the first time actually got to speak with the president of the United States, so that was something.
Wow.
And, of course, Coach Kurt Signetti was always like, "Congratulations, Tony, I know you've wanted this a long time." And I was like, "Yes, Mr. President, we're very, very excited." I mean, this is just the most incredible story in the history of college football.
Dude, 16-0, and when was the last time that happened in college football? Was it like 1896 or something?
It was Yale in 1987.
Oh, okay. Well, what was the 1896 thing they were talking about last night? I don't know what the hell it was, but anyway, just absolutely remarkable and jubilant fans. I was so happy, and I got to tell you this, Alberto Mendoza, what an outstanding individual, and that freaking rushing touchdown that he did would go in the record books for anybody, let alone a quarterback, let alone a guy whose arm was bruised like it almost needed to be amputated, and he did it. Unbelievable.
All right, so I'll say something that's perhaps not the most politically correct thing, but people who have watched college sports know this. Miami, they pick up thugs off the street and slap uniforms on them. I'm sorry, when you got a quarterback who's like, yeah, this is a sixth-year senior, and you've got like a man who needs chiropractic appointments that's playing on their defense. That's how old he is. And nothing wrong with that.
He's got his grandkids cheering in the stands.
Well, I mean, I teased a friend of mine recently. He's in his early 30s, and he's playing on he's the starting forward for Milwaukee's soccer team. I'm like, dude, you're too old for this. He's younger than one of the guys on the team for Miami.
Well,
I mean, it's wild.
I understand, but Miami did hang in there pretty well. It was touch and go to the very end. And
they're a tough team.
It was and they really. Both teams just so tight on offense and defense, just so excellent at what they do. Excellent. I didn't see any major, there was obviously the kick, the punt, the block for a touchdown, which is a big mistake. There was the interception at the end, but both teams I thought did pretty well. Indiana had a couple stupid penalties. That last one with rubbing the QB, I was like, God, what do you think you're doing there? But they managed to win. But it was you were clinched a little bit there the last minute or so.
It was a bit of again. I'm struggling whenever to hear Coach Kurt Signetti complain about the referees at the half.
Yeah.
I've never heard that from him ever.
Really?
Even back before he was at IU, he never complains about the refs, especially mid-game. So to hear him, I thought, my God, he's going to take his belt off and he's going to go hit the refs. Someone get this Bobby Knight a chair.
Well, I got to tell you, and in the home of your alma mater, it was like my son graduated 2022 from KU, and they won the basketball championship. And it reminded me of Massachusetts Avenue.
That was a great team.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, because Indiana hasn't done this before. So it was times 10. Just crazy.
I mean, yeah, I actually got the pass, and I think I sent you the photo over. We don't really post photos of our kids. My 2-year-old son got my old IU hat last night, and so good traditions are living on. I grew up in a family of Irish and Purdue fans, so
yes.
I've been alone for a long time, man. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, you know what I enjoyed watching last night was Mendoza's mom and dad and his little brother. And his little brother just going bananas up there. That was just a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, how could you not like Mendoza? I mean, first of all, from a Christian perspective, every single time he's asked anything, he always stops and gives the glory to God. I can't help but love that. And then he gives the credit to his team. And you see that with Kurt as well. To see Cignetti in the post game say, "I'm as happy of anything for the team and also for the fans." I mean, you're on cloud nine seeing the kind of character that they displayed. Hemby and Black should be an institution. Those two can run the ball like nothing I've ever seen.
Well, it's too bad that Gene Hackman isn't around to do Hoosiers 2.
Hoosiers.
Dude, you know this is going to be a movie. This will be a movie a couple years down the road. This is going to be a movie.
Yeah, I'm going to find out how I can apply to be at least an extra on that set. Who do you think they actually have to play Kurt Cignetti? I'm thinking it's either going to be Nicolas Cage or the janitor from Scrubs.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think who would play Mendoza. Timothy Chalamet would really have to beef up because he had to beef up to be a ping pong player.
Yeah.
So in Bloomington, are they going to be doing a big parade? You going to head down there?
Well, they already did, but yeah, I mean, I'm heading down there
here
actually in a couple of days.
No, but bring the team
Kirkwood
back.
Avenue was on fire last night.
Yeah, I heard. But I mean, bring the team back. Are they going to do like a parade?
Oh, a full thing. I mean, I think the governor's going to go down. I'm going to head down. I think the Turning Point USA crowd here in Indiana is going down. It's going to be fun.
I love it, Tony. I just want to congratulate you, and I knew we had to talk about this just because the story is so amazing. It is such a good feel-good story going into the 250th year of our birth as a nation, and it just patriotism and freedom and faith are spreading across the world, and I'm just really happy for you, bro.
I appreciate it. You need it to keep your blood from boiling with the Minneapolis situation. Yeah. So this was needed.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is all backfiring on the left. It's going down. You had James Clyburn saying that the Republicans wanted to bring back slavery yesterday. That's how dangerous they are, which is actually kind of a bummer because you and I had been talking about opening a plantation. I'm kind of bummed he outed us on this.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew someday I was going to open up a weed farm in California and hire children to pick the crop,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We're trying to get rid of the illegals so we can replace them with slaves. Okay, sure.
Goodness.
All right, Tony, thanks, bro. I'll talk to you soon. We'll talk to you on Friday, actually. Tony Kennett, Daily Signal, also does a great radio program on WIBC in Indianapolis. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. One of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is all the real stories like Sandra's. She tells us, I'd been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, finally decided to try it because nothing else has helped my back pain. With a 3-week quick start, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. Those are Sandra's own words, and it's just so gratifying to hear. I've experienced that kind of relief myself, and knowing folks like Sandra out there are feeling better makes it all worth it. Try it for yourself with a 3-week quick start. See how Relief Factor could be a game changer too. Call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
Greenland's a country we should buy. You know I'm really gonna try. Buy in Greenland something we should do, or slap another tariff on the EU. Denmark, it's really time to sell. We promise to treat Greenland well. Greenland, it would be quite a prize. Mineral rich and really big in size. The ice, so nice. Much land, it's grand security. A great strategy. Greenland we should buy.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Shopify. For years I have had a swag line of T-shirts with catchy phrases and whatnot, and it's just been lying there. Well, I've decided to go with Shopify and actually make money with my own business. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates you can customize to match your brand instead of just having a lousy website that nobody notices like I have been doing for years. Set up fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines, create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Newsmax. Go to shopify.com/Newsmax. Make building a successful business your 2026 New Year's resolution.
Winning and winning and never losing. Results that drive Nancy Pelosi to boozing. Chris Christie choking on buffalo wings. These are my favorite conservative things. Gas prices falling, inflation dropping. To our momentum, there is no stopping. An end to 8 wars, what joy that brings. These are a few of my favorite things. Reducing spending, securing the border, restoring faith in law and order, arresting a punk at a no kings. These are my favorite conservative things. When Chuck Schumer makes me nauseous, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember we're bombing drug folks and that I don't feel so bad.
The European leadership has been bragging about how they're finally getting away from this, and they're basically buying oil and gas from us. And then now, because they're dependent on us, we're saying, oh, by the way, we're going to choose the road. And that's why the Europeans are having this quote-unquote emergency meeting right now, completely defenseless. They can't do anything without us.
Yeah.
So, and oh, by the way, because they've taken and stopped taking Russia gas, they got to take our gas. Well, we can determine what we want to do about that now. So the Europeans literally have nowhere to go. And if you listen to the rhetoric, they've been talking about, oh, we must maintain the traditions of the past 30 years. Nonsense.
Yeah.
The values of the EU are not the values of America. Germany, the British, French, they have all gone far left, and they're into this idea of policing speech, policing thought.
Yeah.
That's not our values that we want to sign up to. So it may be time for us to accept that it's time to divorce us from Europe and then NATO. You know?
I don't think they're going to let that happen. Do you? I mean, they're not going to allow that to happen. I think they got a little bit of smelling salts in the face the last couple of days. I mean, listen, NATO's always been about the elites. They've always kind of expected us to, they're a bunch of snotty friggin' BMW and Volvo drivers, and they always look down their noses until they need their asses saved by us. I mean, let's honestly, that's being an ugly American. No, it isn't. We deal with this crap all the time. Honestly, we deal with this crap all the time. And you know what? This is the global elite, the death throes of their movement. And Donald Trump, the real New World Order is toward freedom and democracy, and Donald Trump is leading the way.
Right, and I think that's the great point to make. And yeah, to your point, Rob, I think they're going to give up Greenland. I think right now the whole collective conclusion they're going to come to, it's far more important to keep America engaged with NATO than get into a fight over Greenland. So I think you're correct. They're going to basically come up with some scenario where they sell it to him for like $100 million. I mean, it's not going to be a lot, but I think that's where this is all going because, to your point, the globalists, and this is the thing, they don't understand that Trump's out to get them. They are so deluded, Rob, that they don't understand that, he may go along with this for now, but the ultimate destructive force that he's bringing his golden sledgehammer to the World Economic Forum to use is going to be against the World Economic Forum globalists. That's what he's actually aiming for right now.
And what's really amazing is that they are defending the global elites, the leftists, the liberals are defending a colonizer because Denmark has been in charge of Greenland for like 300 years. They literally have a history of sterilizing some of the native population. I mean, this is the kind of stuff they did. Dude, they did the same crap that they accuse Americans of doing to Native Americans. And plus, they've never made the Greenlanders' standard of living any better. It's a giant welfare case, and it's even not even a well-run one.
Yeah. Well, this for perspective. the entire population of Greenland is like 59,000 people on a landmass that is larger than Alaska. So and putting that in perspective, that's like a city block in Manhattan. 56,000 people, a city block in Manhattan, and a landmass larger than Alaska. So it's been completely neglected, and this is a secondary target, which I think is actually the primary target of President Trump, is access to the Arctic and rare earth minerals. There are things under the Arctic ice we want. There's all sorts of things which have completely been untouched, and we want that. And secondly, regarding the defense, there's something called the Orezhnik that's been used twice in combat against Ukraine by the Russians in the last 2 weeks. That's a hypersonic missile that you can't see coming, especially within the ranges between Russia and Ukraine. So we want that space. That and our network, Newsmax, has been putting a great graphic showing the planet Earth from the North Pole. When you look at it from that perspective, you understand exactly why Greenland is so important strategically to defending the United States.
Tony Shaffer, we got to take a break. I want to cover a little bit more on this. I want to cover Iran. What do you think's happening there? Maybe what's happening with Cuba and Venezuela, if you wouldn't mind, my friend. I appreciate your time. You can hold on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. More with Tony Shaffer on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.
China is welcome, but what we need is more Chinese foreign direct investment in Europe in some key sectors to contribute to our growth, to transfer some technology.
This is Emile Macron at Fromage talking at the WEF, and he says what Europe needs is more Chinese investment. Man, I tell you what, they never friggin' learn, did they? They never do. Oh, by the way, he was wearing aviators this morning. Must have got hit upside the head by his wife. I don't even know what happened. Tony Shaffer, Lieutenant Colonel. There you go. See, they never learn. From Neville Shaffer to now, or Neville Chamberlain to now, they're still doing the same stupid crap, and now they want China. They want more Chinese investment in Europe. Bravo, Emmanuel Macron. What do you think?
Yeah. So, well, I always describe the French one of two ways: either French eating socialists or gun-dropping surrender monkeys. I don't know which one is better, but they're both kind of descriptive and accurate.
Unbelievable. They never learn. They never learn. This is it. This is their elites. They never learn. And the problem is that we've bailed their asses out for about 120 some years, and they're just I tell you. Let's move on to Iran. Yeah. I know that there's a carrier group headed over there, and I know that Donald Trump, I believe, and I've said this yesterday to Brigitte Gabriel, among others, and Blaine Holt, I said, obviously, Trump got them to stop the executions so we can get our strike force in place, and then work on tipping the scales toward the people of Iran. What are you hearing, and what can you say, and what do you think?
Well, the president had authorized, or at least the planning for a strike that he decided at the last minute to stop, which was kind of, I think, a cool head fake. It actually got the attention of the mullahs, like, yeah, we're really ready to do this. And if you don't actually comply, you're going to suffer consequences. Now, we have to understand that they're going to continue to threaten their people. I'm not saying they're not doing bad things. I'm saying that for the most part, they're somewhat complying with what President Trump has asked them. The question becomes, will they comply fully? And that's where we're kind of at right now.
Well, they can't stay in power. The Ayatollah cannot stay in power when you slaughter your people like that. And also, just what they've done to the United States. If we're this close to being able to take a regime that has caused so much terror and death and destruction to America and our allies, he can't remain in power.
Well, the problem is this. We don't want to be the government of Iran. We're already kind of running Venezuela, just saying. So the idea here is to facilitate the people, the Iranian people, the Persians, to rise up and remove the mullahs. It's better they do it and they pick their leadership than we get involved. As you know, we don't have a good record of picking people for other nations.
But we've never had Donald Trump in office, and you must admit, as a military man, he's more deliberate, I think, than anybody we've seen since Reagan. I mean,
I agree with you with that said. Still, we do not have a good record of picking leaders. I know that. What we need to do is facilitate the people rising up against the leadership and being there helpful. Yeah,
no argument there. So, how close is Cuba to teetering? You don't see a lot of. I think there was kind of a green revolution happening in Cuba as well when Barack Obama was president. Of course, he just let it happen he just let it fall because he's on the side of the Muslim Brotherhood and communism in general. What do you? How quickly is this domino going to fall?
Again, it's one of the where, like Iran, like Venezuela, the more we're able to take out this shadow fleet of tankers that were moving oil around, basically illegal or illicit oil. We've already removed the 30,000 barrels a month that was coming from Venezuela into Cuba, and they burn about 70,000 barrels a month in Cuba. So when you've taken nearly half of their oil out, it's just a matter of time before their already weak economy continues to spiral out of control. So
and also 57 Chevys burn a lot of gas.
Yeah. So you're right, and I think it's just a matter of time before the economic pressures cause their government to collapse.
Well, I got to tell you, I think Davos is going to be must-see TV, and of course Donald Trump is speaking tomorrow. I can't wait. I can't wait till he gives him a little I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Can you?
I think it's going to be literally. The golden hammer of Donald Trump coming down on
This is going to be like Hulk Hogan at the RNC convention.
Yep.
All right. Tony, I appreciate your time today. Tony Shaffer, where can people find your glorious work in Project Sentinel as well?
Yeah, so ColonelTonySchafer.com, just to check out my stuff, and then obviously Project Sentinels, where our think tank stuff is. So thanks for having me, Rob. I always enjoy our conversation.
All right, well, it's going to be a glorious day for freedom and patriotism, brother. God bless you. We'll talk again soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. A little early here, man. Hi, streamers. I'm sorry for the streaming problem. I'm the only nationally syndicated talk show host in America who has to be his own engineer. Yeah, all of this. Everything. Right here. All the technical. Me. Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy, right? Anyway, hello, Robert Lawson. Hello, Prandi Uprachat and Michael Murphy. Good to see you today. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for enduring the weakness of my stream. Gary McGovern, you're busy over there, and Deplorable Dinosaur, as well as Jamie Bellette over on YouTube. It's good to see you there as well. Dookie Bear. And She-Brat and Hombre Sexy is new on the Rumbley-Roo. Hello, Hombre Sexy. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I do appreciate you being here, and despite the issues with the streaming, which I hope we'll be able to figure out, there's no reason why it shouldn't. People do it every day, I hear. I hear that there's other people who stream. I think there's some other people who stream out there. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm the only person who does. But we'll figure it out eventually. We got a bunch of other stuff to get to. Here. Hold on a second. We got to get to Minneapolis and all that bullcrap. Oh, that'll be next. That'll be most of next hour, talking about Don Lemon and the raid of the church in St. Paul, Minnesota. I used to live there. I lived in Minneapolis, in South Minneapolis and Uptown, and it was livable then. Now it's just Mogadishu. It's frozen Mogadishu. Mogadishu meets frozen. Guaranteed. Here we go.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration camps.
That is a jackass named William Kelly. He is a well-known leftist agitator. Yesterday, he went online and delivered a message to Pam Bondi. It wasn't the smartest thing to do. He said, I went into a church with Nikema Armstrong and I protested these white supremacists. The pastor of this church is an effing ICE leader in the city. They want to come after me. F them. F those effing Nazis. Come and get me, Bondi. You effing traitorous B-word. Oh, I want to see your ass dragged to jail. I want to see you spend some time in jail, Junior. Honestly, these are the petulant adult children of the left. And yesterday they crossed the Rubicon by invading a church. And now on top of all the things that the Democrat Party could bed down with, whether it be a drug boat captain, narco-terrorist, or Abrego Garcia, the Democrat Party, or Luigi Mangione. Now the Democrat Party wants to get in bed with people who would raid and terrorize a church. You've crossed the line. There's a reason why there's the expression onward Christian soldiers. Oh, you've crossed the line. I'll tell you what, if old Bill Kelly showed up in my congregation, I would not be so peaceful as to put my Bible down and pray for him. I would drag his ass right the hell out. You bet your butt I would. How dare you? How dare you, petulant children? Oh, you have done it. You're done. And you're literally doing a death spiral to hell. I'm going to cover this next hour at length. I've got a ton of stuff to get to. Don Lemon is in a lot of trouble, and he's doubling down on stupid. Really stupid. Gold went up $100 since yesterday, about $100 since yesterday. Gold went up $100 an ounce since yesterday because of all the stuff that's going on in the world. Uncertainty around the world. Silver's up $94. Gold is at $47.52, up from $46.70 yesterday. $47.52 today. Global uncertainty. That's really what it is. Central banks buying it up. And silver, by the way, silver mines are drying up. They're having to recycle silver. They're looking for new places to mine it, and it's in demand more than ever. If you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold has a rebate up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. Today, you better do it before it goes up another $100 tomorrow. Because if you buy 10 ounces, it's going to cost you $1,000 more tomorrow if it goes up another $100. There you go. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898. They'll do all the work for you. They'll help you roll an existing IRA or 401k and do an IRA in gold. Still be eligible for a rebate up to $10,000. Throw some silver in there, too. Throw some silver in there, too. Hi-ho, silver. There you go. So, again, first-time qualifying purchases up to $10,000 rebate. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. On the way, I've done a deep dive on all of this constitutionally with regard to the invasion of churches. And by the way, the left is saying, oh, yeah, but ICE is invading churches. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They have parked outside of churches, and if Al Capone was going to church in the 1930s, guess what? The feds would have parked outside the church too. You know what? Because if you're an illegal, you don't have the right to free speech. You don't have the right to worship freely. You can do that at home, but if you show up at your church and you're outside and you're here illegally and committed a crime, you're going to get arrested. We're going to do all of that, and KT McFarland joins us too. Don't go anywhere.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The National Weather Service issued warnings about either extremely cold temperatures or a wintry mix across several states, stretching all the way from southern Minnesota and into the east.
about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? You got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities? I'm not going to comment. You have no comment, exactly. Renee, good.
This is what the left has become, and they have crossed the Rubicon. They have crossed it. You remember last year when I said that Charlie Kirk's assassination was not a turning point, it was the turning point. This is the turning point, and I got to tell you, I am just so bloody angry that this would happen, that these spoiled, entitled children with worthless degrees would storm in and absolutely terrify a congregation. And Don Lemon would go along because he's an ignorant. Here's the thing about Don Lemon. You know, I told you about how Democrats are crazy cat ladies, absolutely crap crazy cat ladies, and the emasculated feminized men. Let me give you Jennifer Welch, who's psychotic, has a podcast, and Don Lemon yesterday, after Don Lemon is under investigation for violating the FACE Act. He's in some serious crap.
I think these MAGA men, they have like a hive mind. None of them are unique.
This woman is a seething cauldron of hate and evil. I mean, she's just nuts.
Them are the alphas they think they are.
Oh, no, we're very alpha, thank you.
They just all take their orders every day. What's Elon saying?
No, we don't.
What's Trump saying?
That's
and they have to
wrong.
bend and mold. And you are a prize for them, an independent, gay, black, happy, successful.
He's happy. Oh, my God. He's unemployed, and he's miserable.
Man. And this is an attempt to intimidate and beat you down.
No, it's not. Now, listen to him play the race card. What you have to realize is that they're not winning. They're getting their rear ends handed to them, which Don loves, by the way. They're getting their rear ends handed to them. And this is what they're doing. These are the movie vampires. They are dying like movie vampires, dragging and kicking. And what they do is they say the most obscene, aggravating things as they're trying to drag you down.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with that. And I didn't hear the first part, but I think that there is obviously there's racism in it. The whole point of it is that they're detaining people on the streets because of accents and the color of their skin.
I mean, patently ridiculous and false. I mean, it's false as James Clyburn saying that the Republicans want to bring back slavery.
And they're also targeting people of color and black people as well as brown people. So there is a certain degree of racism there, and there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are in the religious groups like that, it's not the
here he goes after Christians. These are people who, by the way, work very hard, have very little, try to give their level best, maybe 10% to the church to give back, try to do charitable events, and this jackass who does nothing in his life is going to call him white supremacy. Listen to this.
Type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're
I don't think you practice Christianity.
Entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we want.
Oh my God. I know. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. It's just so bloody frustrating and awful and stupid and all of this. Here is Alina Habba. She's, a Trump lawyer, among other things, talking about the FACE Act and what Don Lemon might be facing.
That's everybody. The FACE Act is a long-standing federal statute that prohibits force, threats, obstruction, any kind of interference with a religious place of worship. And it carries criminal penalties and violations. And what the Attorney General is saying is the truth. She will come down hard. The Department of Justice will come down hard. Our Civil Rights Division will come down hard on anybody who tries to impede or intimidate somebody in a place of worship, or a police officer or an ICE officer. It's just not going to happen in this administration. The Department of Justice will look into whomever is funding this. It's no different than a RICO action. If you are funding mass protests, if you are having protests that are not righteous protests, there are First Amendment rights that we respect, but that are putting people in risk, not allowing people to go to church, this Department of Justice will come down on you.
Here is Kayleigh McEnany talking to Pastor Dale Witherington about what they did on Saturday. It wasn't about preach, it was terrorism. It wasn't about freedom of speech, it was terrorism.
Someone who was in that church says as the children started to cry, the rage of one man grew and grew, and he started screaming how we are privileged pigs.
In fact, I spent some time this afternoon talking with a young lady who was actually in the church during that service yesterday, and she explained at how those folks came barging in, which of course is a violation of the FACE Act. You know that. It's a federal violation what they did. Had nothing to do with First Amendment rights for journalists or anything like that Mr. Lemon was proclaiming. But the beauty of it is the members of the congregation, first they tried to protect the children because those agitators, those protesters, came after the kids. I mean, what kind of guts is that, number one? Number two, the pastors responded in a very peaceful manner. They requested that the members of the congregation just open their Bibles.
Okay, I understand that. I understand that. I'm not as benevolent. I won't be as benevolent if that happens at my church. I'm not going to put my Bible down. I'm not going to, no. This is a threat. This is a threat, and I will protect my flock. Not saying they're my flock, but you know what I'm talking about. Fellow parishioners. Harmeet Dillon was asked, why no arrests yet?
I know people are frustrated. Where are the arrests, et cetera? Let me explain that for you and your team, Benny, because state prosecutors could have arrested some of these people yesterday. They don't have some of the same hurdles that we do in the DOJ. When DOJ, we gather our facts, we go to a federal judge. A federal judge has to issue the search warrants. We all know what the federal judges are doing right now in Minnesota. We will pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. Unbelievable. This is what they become, and it can't go further than this. It has to stop here. This is it. This is the line. This is the Rubicon. It is. It is. There's no doubt about it. This is sacred. Sacred. In more ways than one, right? More ways than one. Jonathan Turley, Georgetown law professor, talking last night. I believe he was talking with Waters.
The Department of Justice is likely to proceed through its Civil Rights Division. Because they targeted a church, they are looking into whether the civil rights of those congregants were violated. Making things worse for these groups is one of the organizers said that all of these congregants have to look at their, quote, theology and look.
They don't worship God
within their hearts. And so
these protesters are Marxists and they're atheists.
So there's this question of whether the church itself and the congregants were being targeted. So there is ground here for the Civil Rights Division to investigate.
Unbelievable. It's the same as Jim Crow South. KKK raiding the churches down there, burning them down. Same damn thing. Is that what's going to happen next? They burned down Minneapolis in 2020. They burned their way across our country the last frickin' decade. What else do you need to know? Do they need to be on horseback wearing hoods, for God's sake? And then there's Tampon Timmy, who's presided over and knew about massive fraud in his state. And he's been pretty quiet about this.
But what's also fascinating is the lack of deterrent from local officials. You know, at a minimum, this is trespass and disorderly conduct under state law. We haven't even heard from the governor to condemn what was a grotesque and offensive mob action against this church. Federal laws, you will get into a fight over whether the motivation was political as opposed to religious or racist. What I think is really quite conspicuous is the absence of state deterrence and enforcement. I mean, there has to be at some point in which Governor Walz and...
Because he's trying to cover his crooked ass. There you go, I just said it. That's what he's trying to do. They're trying to cover up what they did. Tim Parrish is a man of color. And he was on CNN talking about what this means to most.
I totally disagreed because of what a pastor does for a living or what they're involved in politically.
He said that because the pastor works part-time for ICE that it gave him every right to do this. So if a police officer or somebody you find offensive works at a church, you could just barge in and terrorize the congregation.
Gives no one the right. There was a child in that video who was sitting in their father's arms, shaking, confused, trying to figure out what's going on when these people burst into this church. And Lee, what I would say is people have a First Amendment right and the ability to go and protest against ICE. If they don't like ICE, be my guest, go protest. But those people in that church, I would say and, not but, those people in that church absolutely have a First Amendment right to gather and worship the God of their choosing. And I'll say a point here is it is actually Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the day that we recognize his contribution to the country today. His mother in 1974 was shot and killed in a church because of political violence, because the KKK wanted to insert their political will over a community. This is remarkably similar to that. I remember my great-grandfather telling me stories about church bombings in the South. Remarkably similar to that. Everyone at this table should have
the protest is similar to the person getting shot.
Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to take a break. I got a little bit of audio from somebody I respect a lot, Greg Gutfeld, and he came in off the top rope on this nonsense. We're going to take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Get a little rejoin. Boom,
All right.
boom, boom.
All right, thanks.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
There you go.
Boom, boom,
Boom, boom, boom, boom. Ayatollah, you got a bit used to hearing that. You're going to hear some boom, boom, bang, bang. Don Lemon is a very, very intelligent and in-depth reporter. Here he is last year talking about whether it's illegal to come into the country illegally.
Okay, crossing the border illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act. Okay. It's a misdemeanor.
So why are they being sent back and saying that they're breaking the law?
That's the point.
Okay, as somebody that actually...
We don't know if they're breaking the law because they won't tell. There's no due process.
Warning, this is going to get super duper 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 stupid, like right up there with Jasmine Crockett stupid.
It's the evidence. That's the whole point. And if they are breaking the law, most people will say, okay, then they need to go if they're criminals. But if they're not, why are they being rounded up and sent out? Especially when he promised to deport the criminals. It's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
You're speeding, drinking, get pulled over, DUI.
That's not a criminal act. Well, no, if you're speeding is a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor.
Right.
So still breaking the law.
Okay, well, if you want to qualify that, we're doing semantics.
Is it a law to come over legally? Is there a law?
There are rules processes that you should follow. Yeah, so you're breaking rules. You're breaking the rules, but you're not necessarily breaking a law.
So what happens when you break the rules?
Then you suffer the consequences. But the consequences should not. Look, no one is saying no one should suffer the consequences. You guys are getting things mixed up.
Oh my God! I think we need to hear some Jim Gossett comedy. What do you say?
Oh, Donny boy, the feds are calling. You stormed a church, and now you're gonna pay. You had a part in that church riot. It won't be long till you're taken away.
I think in prison he'd probably like the bottom bunk, not the top bunk.
You're such a hack.
You'd be wrong, I'm not sure.
It's certain they'll arrest you.
Please.
You will regret the chaos that you wrought.
This is kind of pretty, isn't it?
A bad idea to storm a house of worship. Oh, Donny boy, you have been caught.
Wow, that is almost too pretty to call a parody. Man. Jim Gossett, ladies and gentlemen, patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. Gutfeld came in off the top rope. He has Jessica, what's her name? Jessica... Tardlove. Yeah, Tardlove. He has Jessica Tardlove, and she's just, Karen Central. Karen Central. You know, the women in Minneapolis are so crazy. The white women in Minneapolis are so crazy. The Humane Society cuts them off after 3 cats. It's that bad. It is that bad. Here's Don Lemon going nuts.
This isn't about immigration.
Gutfeld going nuts.
It isn't about ICE. It isn't about Trump. It is about suicidal empathy. Yeah. That is driven by a rescue fantasy.
Crazy cat ladies.
You have all of these young, middle-aged women going out there because they have some kind of emptiness in their lives that are going out there in this kind of rescue delusion, helping people they don't know, strangers who are guilty of crimes. Yeah. How can you defend that? This is not protesters going to a church. That is a mob. The people that invented the phrase safe spaces are breaking it up, frightening kids, right? These are the people that call us fascists and they're hunting people. These are the people that claim to defend women and yet are defending men who abuse women. Wow. And imagine showing this tape to Don Lemon 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and saying, is this where you saw yourself, Lemon? Crashing a church service, scaring kids, attacking a pastor? Was this your hope and dream to...
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Here's the exclamation point.
These rescue fantasies exist because the real power of women, which is in the roles of community, whether it's wife, mother, work, teaching, that stuff has been marginalized by our modern leftist culture that has to be replaced by activism. Your life is meaningless unless you're out there screaming at a cop's face. You have all these sad people out there in this liberation role playing, and you're egging it on. You should not be egging this on, Jessica. You know, we had this. This is a time for brave women. Where is the internet mom? The women who step up and show younger women out of this spiritual dead end, because it is a spiritual dead end, and how apt it is that they end up in a church screaming at people. You know, this activism doesn't produce anything but suffering, because it replaces what is truly meaningful in people's lives. It's about how we got here and why we've talked about this over and over again, whether it was George Floyd, whether it was ICE. It's all the same. It's a desire to be part of this rescue fantasy because your life's so frickin' empty.
And the only way to cure it is a spanking. There's no reasoning, only defeat. Jail, whatever it takes. Ridiculous. When they swing first, only takes one swing back. Done. Done with this when you invade our churches. You keep trying this nonsense, and they're still talking about it. There's a trans lawmaker, Lee Finke, who says that they ought to storm more churches. Well, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews, how you feel about that? How you feel about that, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews? That's why I came up with the expression. Because in New York City, they actually, before they elected an Islamist and a communist as mayor, they were starting to do anti-Jewish protests near where the Twin Towers came down and terrorizing Jewish people, not only there, but also around the country. And if law enforcement won't do anything about it, maybe we need some homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews to go down and kick some ass. I'm saying leaving it up to federal authorities. But if it comes into your congregation, you get security, because this is not protected speech. This is an invasion. This is like somebody coming into your home. It is unacceptable. It must be stopped. These people must go to jail. Enough is enough is enough. You've done it. The camel's back is broken. The Rubicon has been crossed. Coming up next, the one and only KT McFarland. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson for Shopify. You know, for years I have had a swag line of T-shirts with catchy phrases and whatnot, and it's just been lying there. Well, I've decided to go with Shopify and actually make money with my own business. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates you can customize to match your brand, instead of just having a lousy website that nobody notices like I have been doing for years. Set up fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines, create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Newsmax. Go to shopify.com/Newsmax. Make building a successful business your 2026 New Year's resolution.
When you're a man who calls himself a girl, it can be a bonus. When you compete with women, you have to hide. Ooh, that pair of of cojones. I can cycle against the girls, that's my choice. I can steal their medals with this manly voice, 'cause the left makes me feel, the left makes me feel, the left makes me feel like a transgender woman. When I compete with females, I'm the one that's feared, 'cause I'm the only person in the race with a beard. But somehow I feel the left makes me feel, they make me feel like a transgender woman. Woman.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is all the real stories like Sandra's. She tells us, I'd been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, finally decided to try it because nothing else has helped my back pain. With a 3-week quick start, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. Those are Sandra's own words, and it's just so gratifying to hear. I've experienced that kind of relief myself, and knowing folks like Sandra out there are feeling better makes it all worth it. Try it for yourself with a 3-week quick start. See how Relief Factor could be a game changer too. Call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
To that House hearing I didn't show. Me and Hillary decided not to go. We just proved that we've got so much to hide. Though pressure has been applied, me and my wife, we won't comply. About Jeffrey Epstein we refuse to testify, 'cause we know we'd get caught in lie after lie. We won't comply. We won't comply. Jim Comer says I'm in contempt, that from appearing I am not exempt. He wants me arrested. I say let him try. I won't comply. I won't comply. Island trips, I took a lot. When I'm asked about them, I say I forgot. I flew 30 times on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, but I will never explain, no, not me. I will resist, even though my name is at the top of Epstein's list.
Okay? We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point.
What's that?
Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America.
There you go. That is Howard Lutnick at the in Davos. And I got to tell you, KT McFarland joined us on Newsmax Hotline. Former Trump Deputy National Security Advisor, author of Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People. I don't think I've ever considered the World Economics Forum must-see TV, but I have a funny feeling this is going to be awful fun to watch this week. KT, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a victory lap.
Oh.
And it's not even, it's really, because the victory is going to get even better with time. I mean, this is a victory lap in the sense that the world has rejected now globalism and all the things that those globalists stand for. America first is the American policy, but countries in Europe, countries in Asia, countries in South America are all sort of going in the Trump direction.
Yes.
Of looking at their national security, their economic security first. And they're not as willing to turn it over to the hands of the globalists, the sort of self-appointed experts, for two reasons. One, it's not democratic. We want to observe our nation's laws, not some vague international system. And then secondly, the globalists have been wrong.
Yes. Well, they always are. They're these European elites, and they always talk a big game. They consider a meeting to be the accomplishment, not actually what comes out of the meeting. Unlike a Trump cabinet meeting, because when academics get together, they have a meeting, and when they break from the meeting, they say, "Hey, accomplishment, we did a meeting." And Donald Trump is not like that, and consequently shaking up the world. They tried to kind of, as I said earlier, speak loudly and carry a flaccid stick. When it came to Greenland, it sounds like they're kind of doing a little, like when a pit bull is separated from a Chihuahua. The Chihuahua's really yippy until the fence disappears. That's kind of what happened when Donald Trump decided, okay, well, I'll just tariff you if you have a problem with me taking over Greenland. They talk a big game, but they collapse pretty quickly, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, tariffs are the ultimate weapon, and why are they such an effective weapon? Because the United States, President Trump understands that every country needs to sell its goods in the United States. You can't substitute the American market for the Chinese market.
No.
They're not going to buy stuff.
No.
Or the European market. They're not going to buy stuff. Only America. And for years, we gave it away. And the difference with President Trump is we're not giving it away anymore. We want something for it. And in this case, the Greenland example that you've said, what we want is we are willing to do an awful lot for Greenland. We are willing to do an awful lot for NATO, but we don't want to do it and not own the land.
Yeah. So are we? How do we do this, Katie? You know this obviously much better than I do. They're not going to become a state. Are they going to become like Puerto Rico? What do you suppose? Okay.
Could be like some of the Pacific Islands. They'll figure that part out. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
The hard part is to make sure that we do it in such a way that we don't want to blow up the NATO alliance. Yes. We want to have good relations with Denmark, which is the country that has nominal oversight of Greenland. They're a good, loyal ally. They've been a very good ally to us in NATO and in other ways. So we don't want to blow up that relationship. But at the same time, and President Trump's willing to pay. He made it really clear. Yeah. We'll pay fair market value.
Yeah.
But the point with Greenland is that there's sort of 3 points. The one obvious one is they have rare earth minerals and oil and gas. Yeah, we want our hands on that.
Sure.
The other is that they're the maritime trade route, and as the Arctic melts, that means all the goods that are going to go from North America from Europe to Asia, they're going to go over the Arctic pole. They're not going to go through the Atlantic. So we want to control that trade route. But then the other one, which is the real stickler, is that President Trump has proposed a missile defense system that would protect all of America. But it would also protect Canada. It would also protect Europe. These are the ability to shoot down missiles as they're entering the U.S., nuclear weapon missiles. And we would pay for it. We would control it. We would share it in the sense that we would protect others. But we're not going to do it. We're not going to spend that kind of money if we don't own the land.
I noticed that the Prime Minister of Canada is, I don't understand why he would do this. I think it's suicide. Mark Carney the other day preached about, and went and visited China, by the way, You see Emmanuel Macron talking about how Europe should trade more with China. I got to tell you, Mark Carney is digging himself a shallow grave with regard to Donald Trump. And I just think that was a really, really bad move on his part. What do you think?
Well, I think that Carney, and it reflects a lot of the leadership of the global leadership, that people are going to be at Davos, like the president of France, like Macron.
Yes.
Their nation's in decline, and they're managing their decline very nicely. They don't have the ability, the willingness, the sort of discipline to recreate and reinvent themselves. So that's what this is all about. China's plan is that Canada is going to become the farmland for China. China will ship really good, expensive goods to Canada, and in this case, electric vehicles, and then Canada will sell agricultural products to China. That's China's vision. That's not America's vision.
Do you suppose Donald Trump will allow that to go without any issues?
Well, I mean, it's up to Canada. They're a sovereign nation. If they want to do that, that's up to them. But it's quite a mistake because we're something like 75% of their trade.
Yeah.
China right now is 10% of their trade. And I think a lot of what the the Canadian Prime Minister is doing is he's just ticked off. He's got Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, I think
he thinks he's going to be a big guy.
I think what we're witnessing here is a death spiral by the global elites. And they are lashing out in every way, shape, and form. I've used this about the left in America. I talk to them. I say they're doing a death spiral into hell, dragging, kicking, trying to grab us, go with them. And I think that's what we're witnessing here. Is this this new world order of global elites is beginning to collapse? They're gnashing their teeth. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do this, and it's falling apart. Quite simply, I would say. Would you?
Yeah, completely.
Good.
Because again, it hasn't worked. If you look at the European economies, they haven't grown. The European societies, they're in a mess. They have the law and order issue. They have the massive immigration issue. They have the massive spending issue. These are societies which are broken. Now, can they fix them? Yeah, sure, they can turn it around. Yeah. Will they? Who knows? Don't seem to have any willingness to do that so far.
Well, it's happened, though, in Poland. It's happened in Hungary. It's happened in Italy to some degree. And I'm seeing little sparks happening in Germany and France, by the way, and England. I think the native population are sick and damn tired of what has happened to them because they did the same thing to those countries they did to America, opening the borders, letting in all sorts of illegals, including Islamists. And obviously, they've taken things a lot further in places like England. But there are a lot of people that have asked, is it too far? Is it too late for England? I don't think it is.
You know, there's an interesting book that's just been written. I've read it, and it's a heavy read. It's very statistical. But it's by Arthur Laffer. So Arthur Laffer is famous for inventing the Laffer curve. He's the one that explained to President Reagan about how if you lower taxes and deregulate, you in fact get higher tax revenues, called the Laffer curve. Reagan adopted it, Reaganomics. As a result, we had a generation of prosperity. And this is the same basis that President Trump is using. Now, Laffer says, well, it's not too late for Europe. They have to have the political will to do it. But Great Britain, for example, could turn it around. They just have to want to do it enough and are willing to take some tough medicine up front for an amazing gain down the road.
All right, we've got to take a break. More with KT McFarland. I know you have time limits, but I do have a couple other things I want to talk about, including Iran and Cuba on the other side of the break. Let's take a break. This is The Rob Carson Show. Here's the Rob Carson Show. By the way, Eastern Seaboard going to get some snow. They say 2 to 12 inches in Washington, D.C. For me, being from the upper Midwest, Iowa, and Minnesota, we go bowling when it snows a foot. We have no problem with that whatsoever. I'm not sure about KT McFarland, but I don't think a snowfall would stop her. I don't think there's much could stop her, and she's on the Newsmax Hotline. Oh, KT.
I grew up in Wisconsin.
Oh, you're from Wisconsin?
Snow doesn't bother me.
Oh, yeah. I've done a lot of time on WTMJ in Milwaukee up there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Yeah, we go, when it snows 15 inches, we go bowling, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Or when the heat goes out in your car, you sit in the house. You go sit in the car because at least the heater works in the car.
There you go. There you go. So I predicted when Donald Trump became the president that a tsunami of freedom and patriotism and now faith with the death of Charlie Kirk will sweep the world, and it's happening in real time. And I believe, and I've heard Ted Cruz echo it, you're looking at a couple of major things. Certainly Venezuela hopefully returning to democracy, Cuba falling soon thereafter, and Iran. And Iran is just shy of the Berlin Wall, I think. KT, what do you think about what's going to happen to Iran?
I think it's a couple of things that we could see this year, 2026, be like the year that the Iron Curtain came down, the Berlin Wall came down. It led to one after another of liberations. What's going to happen in Iran? Well, who knows? You know, right now, it looks like the Iranian government has acceded to President Trump's demands that they're not executing their people.
Yes.
But the protests are going to continue because the reason for the protests will continue,
yes.
And that is that the mullahs of the Iranian government, you know, the regime, has massively mismanaged what should be one of the most wealthy countries in the world. They're now 75% of them are in poverty. I mean, it's just crazy what's happened to Iran in just 20 or 30 years. So I think that so maybe this particular demonstration batch and this round might go away, but then it'll come back because the problems aren't going to go away.
I don't think it's going away, KT. I think there's serendipity. I think there's something happening here, and why?
I think
it has everything to do with Donald Trump being in office.
It's all about you know, they're seeing what's happening in the world, and look at Argentina, for example, another country which should be one of the richest countries in the world, completely mismanaged. But the difference is, I think President Trump has really taken the lessons of failure from the Bush administration and the Obama administration.
Yes.
So in the Bush administration, we had regime change, we toppled governments, we disbanded all their militaries and their government services, and then in Afghanistan and Iraq, we ended up being the occupying force and then fighting insurgencies. That didn't work. Yeah. And then if you look at Obama, what he did, he toppled dictators too in the Arab Spring, but then he left. He didn't stick around to help them form new governments or stability. And what happened to those countries is they all descended into chaos, and then ISIS and all the Islamic extremist movements started. So I think President Trump he's finding the middle way, and that's to deal with somebody like Maduro. He kills Americans. He comes and has to answer for himself in court. But at the same time, President Trump is now going to be working with the next tier of leaders, and he's going to be working with the Venezuelan oil companies to make sure that they have a good relationship with American oil companies, and then that's prosperity for everybody.
It is, and in Latin America, we're seeing some amazing leaders who are very Trumpian, taking over down there. There are some bastions of communism and whatnot, kind of like in the United States. There, KD, New York City, and Seattle, and Minneapolis, Minnesota, for goodness sake. What about Cuba? Cuba has been communist for as long as we've been alive, pretty much, and they don't have Venezuelan oil, and they don't have, they're a dependent state with like 90 political prisons, and that's about it. What do you think is going to happen there?
I think, again, it'll be like Iran, it'll be like all these countries, where at a certain point, whatever the leadership is, they can't hold on because they can't feed their people, they can't run their countries. So at what point do they cut a deal with the United States? And President Trump has said, look, the deal I want with Iran is no nukes, don't have terrorist armies to destroy Israel, and let's work together for international trade and oil development. The deal that he said to Venezuela, is very similar to that. He wants to cut a deal and then move on. What happens in Cuba is that there's no money for Cuba. Cuba can't survive without somebody paying all the bills. And it's not going to be Venezuela anymore, not going to be Russia. Maybe Mexico will kick in a little bit. But at a certain point, the leadership of Cuba is going to say, okay, we're going to have to cut a deal with President Trump. And maybe if that group of leaders, that top tier, doesn't want to do a deal, the next tier will.
Well, I think that 2026 is going to be the most amazing year that we've lived. Honestly, I really do. I think it's going to be remarkable. I remember 1989, first year out of college, the Berlin Wall fell. We hoped that China would do the same thing. It didn't, and now I think we see something that is remarkable. I'm going to go to the store today and stock up on popcorn, and I'm going to text you during Donald Trump's speech, and we can just go back and forth as he just destroys everybody.
Yeah, this is a victory lap for Donald Trump and Davos.
Oh, I love it. KT, always a pleasure. Happy New Year. I know great things are coming. Is there any place you'd like people to find you on social media?
Oh, I'm easy. It's a real KT McFarland on Twitter, and then I have a website. But
Lovely.
You can hear me on, media outlets everywhere.
You're everywhere. You can't escape KT McFarland, and you don't want to either. Thank you very much. KT, thank you so much. God bless and take care, okay?
Thanks so much, Rob.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. KT just kicks ass, doesn't she? I just think she's amazing. I've had her on now about 5 years, and you recall, those of you who don't know, a couple years ago, I had her read The Night Before Christmas at Christmas because I love her voice so much, and she did it, and it's remarkable. I need to bring it back because it was something else. It was something else when we had her on, and I knew that she would play, and I knew that she would like it. And it was funny because I saw her at a Christmas party at Newsmax last year. And I finally met her in person, and I talked to her, and she says, my grandkids demand that they play the recording of Grandma reading The Night Before Christmas every Christmas. I thought that was kind of cool. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, right? Pretty amazing. So I'm just very blessed to meet such people. And they're interesting people. They're interesting people. I mean, a lot of times you only talk about, the policy and all this crap, but I just think I like to get to know people on a one-to-one basis. One-to-one basis. Hold on one second. I got to find something here. Donnie boy. Oh, yeah, I got something here. I got something here. We're going to play some comedy. How's that sound? Want to hear some comedy? Here we go. All right. I'm going over to Capitol Hill today for the very first time. There are going to be about 40 members of Congress there, and I'm going to meet a bunch of them. So I will populate my social media with my interactions. How's that sound? Sound pretty cool? All right. It's time for me to talk again here, kids. Time for a new Iran. Guys, it has to happen. Iran, the mullahs have to fall. This is the moment. This is the moment. That's it.
Yeah, about 4.5 here.
Okay. KT McFarland just is awesome. Awesome. Freedom is going to ring around the world this year. Iran is going to fall because it has to. The Ayatollah is going to fall because it has to. Now is the time. Now is the moment. Now is the time to make this happen. Cuba has to fall. Now is the time. Now is the time. Donald Trump is the president. This is serendipity coming together. After the evil forces of the world came together and the worst of the worst in our government came together to put him in jail, take his fortune, take him off the ballot, and ultimately murder him. The yin and the yang. The reaction to the opposite reaction to the reaction. The good greeted, the evil greeted by the good. All of this is happening. It's happening in real time. New parody from Jim Gossett in a second. Gold went up about $100 since yesterday. It was $46.70 yesterday. It's $47.52 today. About $90. Is that $90? Something like that. Silver's at $94. Silver just a couple years ago. No, last year this time was $30. It's $90 now. It's $90 now. Global uncertainty. Would you say we've got a little bit of that going on? That it has fuel to the fire for the price of precious metals. It is fuel to the fire of give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. A little Metallica there. But it adds fuel to the fire when global uncertainty is happening, and also the demand is really high and the central banks are buying it up and all that. So maybe you ought to buy it before it goes up another $100 in a day. Okay, Birch Gold first-time buyer incentive. They'll be gentle for your first time. A rebate up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases to claim eligibility. Start the process. You know the drill. Rob to 989898. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Make now your first time. I'll hold your hand. I might even give you a little kiss on the cheek. Take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy by January the 10th on qualifying purchases. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Claim your eligibility today. Again, it's Birch Gold. They're the company I use. There are a lot of companies out there. I trust Birch Gold. You know how much I trust them? They got my money, and I don't have a lot of money. I mean, for God's sake, if you watch my social media, I found a chair by the dumpster yesterday and cleaned it with Woolite and brought it into my apartment. I know. That's how I am. There you go. All right. Comedy about Greenland from Jim Gossett, starring the President of the United States, only on the Rob Carson Show.
Greenland's a country we should buy. You know I'm really gonna try. Buy in Greenland something we should do, or slap another tariff on the EU.
It's fun.
Denmark, it's really time to sell.
Bye, Denmark.
We promise to treat Greenland well.
Get your stuff out of here.
Greenland, it would be quite a prize. Mineral rich and really big in size.
Lots of ice, too.
The ice, so nice. Much land. It's grand security. A great strategy.
Yeah, it is.
Greenland we should buy.
There you go. That is Jim Gossett. If you want to help him out, go to patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. Lord knows it's tough to be a conservative content creator and comedian. Jim is a genius, and every day he's going to send you a couple of parodies that you'll hear on my show, and then you can share them with your friends, and you can, maybe when you're hanging around, just listen to the collection of Jim Gossett Comedy. He's done 3,000 dang songs on my show. He's a genius. Every topic, every voice, there's no one better and never has been. Ever. He's just brilliant. Patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. We've got much more coming up on the other side of the break. More of this nonsense out of Minneapolis. Mexico, not exactly our friend. They've got these consulates around the country, and they've tried to take down Donald Trump with them. Maybe it's time we emptied some of those out. Said hasta la vista. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show out ahead. Don't go anywhere.
President Trump is stirring the pot.
it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show. We are on radio stations around the country. Also streaming on all Newsmax social media, including the YouTube channel, Rumble, X, Facebook, Instagram. I think it's about it. Working on a couple others like Truth, maybe Getter. I don't know. We'll see. Might as well be on all of them. Why not? What the heck, right? What the heck? I want to get into Karens and the insane, crazy cat lady movement in America. And I have nothing but absolute, I have no respect for them at all. They're insane. They are absolutely insane, and I warned you about them last year. I didn't really warn you. I made fun of them because it was obvious to me the night that Kamala Harris became the nominee. They forced her down Democrats' throats, and they gobble it up. They gobble it up. Yum, 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 yum. We don't need to vote for anybody. Yum, 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 yum. Because we're sheep. Let me put a mask on to make you even happier. And I said, because I saw that night. That night they had 2 big conference calls, and one of them was crazy cat ladies, and one of them was emasculated men. And I said, oh my God, it's crazy cat ladies and emasculated men. That's your Democrat Party, and I predicted it quite well actually, and they're really coming out now. And listen, you know who they are? They're the Manson family followers. They're the women of the Manson family. That's who the Democrat Party is. The women of the Democrat Party, the liberal women of the Democrat Party, they are the woman, any Dinah, sounds like Dinah.
I am there to observe and document. This is a historical moment for me in my lifetime.
Well, okay. If it means you crossing over to the insane side.
For the state of Minnesota. And no matter what the outcome is, yes, I believe it deserves to be documented.
That's great. Good luck.
I believe it is my responsibility to document it.
Sure. Great.
Firsthand, as an observer, show what is happening in my city.
Okay. All right.
I believe in the freedom and the foundations of America and the United States Constitution.
Gotcha.
I also believe in change and progress.
Okay, that's great.
If I am executed today by ICE officers, it will not be because of anything.
Sound mind and you, I mean, I can tell you're not exactly a sound body either. There you go. In the movie Christmas Story, where he was hoping that his parents would one day...
Weakly but insistently, 21, and then they'd be...
Come on in. Where you been?
He's carrying a cake.
What is it, Ralph? What happened?
Blood.
Is it something we did? What brought you to this lowly stage?
Please tell us, no matter how it hurts. What did we do? No, I can't. Oh, please, Ralph, I must know what we did. What brought you to this?
Please.
You know, your parents are saying, you're nuts, and I give up. Good luck. See ya. Go tell Rosie O'Donnell I said hi. Hasta la vista. It's gotten so bad in Minneapolis, I think they put a cat limit on the number of cats that can be adopted from the Humane Society by white women. It's that nuts. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
FM in Harford County.
See, I think that this is the end of it now for him. It has to be. And Americans need to step up now. It's not enough to go into the streets. It's not enough to vote. I believe that people need to start calling their congressmen and their senators. I mean, he has eroded civil rights at this point.
No,
yes. He's erasing history.
No. You guys did. You tore down the Columbus statues and all the Civil War stuff.
He's
got rid of the Redskins.
He's trying. He's wrecking the economy. It's going to be
the economy's kicking butt.
Decades before we get back to where we're.
Wow. The Harpies from. I mean the View. I always accidentally call them the Harpies from Hell because it sounds so much alike. That's Joy Behar. Wishful thinking. Here's a bunch of crazy Democrats. The 20th on Inauguration Day, they're going to walk into congressional offices and have Donald Trump removed.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
On January 20th, we are walking out to free America.
And walking in to remove the regime.
We're walking out of work, walking out of school.
We're walking out of anywhere and everywhere.
Because it's past time that we stop.
Yeah, you're going to have to walk past me and about 78 million other people just like me.
Cooperating with fascism.
Starting at 2 p.m. local time, we'll start a wave of walkouts across the nation.
I'm going to hold my breath until I pass out.
Send a clear message that we demand freedom from this hostile and lawless takeover of our country.
It's all a lie there.
Then we'll start walking in.
Congress has the power to remove a tyrant from office.
How about you?
It's not an option. It's their sworn duty.
So at 3 p.m., we'll start walking in to local congressional offices to
maybe you can move out of the country, blah, 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 blah.
demand impeachment and removal.
Oh, sure.
We are peacefully demanding that our representatives file their own articles of impeachment
against Trump and senior Trump officials.
And we are demanding that they force a vote.
Donald Trump has committed tyranny and obstruction of justice.
And turning ICE into...
No, you guys are freaking out of your nut. That's all there is to it. Honestly, I'm just so done with your friggin' nonsense, to be quite honest. Now I'm going to make fun of you. Because you're insane.
Well, they have a lot of cats, and they're mostly Democrats like V.P. Harris. They cry when they lose. From their left-wing views, I wish they'd spare
You
us.
lost the election. Get a hold of yourself.
They're cat ladies.
My God.
Whoa, 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 they're cat ladies. Talking about some miserable ladies. Who have clearly lost their mind.
People that are pro-life, I hate you.
Got called out by J.D. Vance. When he had the chance, he really nailed them.
They haven't been nailed in a while. What? Yes.
They're too dumb to know. Kamala and Joe have really failed them. They're cat ladies. Don't have a child, they're cat ladies. Talking about some miserable ladies who are out of their mind.
It is honestly, it's a childish temper tantrum, and here's the problem. They're going to get beaten pretty badly, actually. Not physically. I'm not talking by that any means. I'm just talking about you're going to get beaten. It's just here is let me find this here. There's a woman in Seattle, I believe. Let's find this, who decided she was going to go and get in the way of an ICE vehicle, right? And so this soccer mom has got children, decides to go ahead and try to block ICE. Well, ICE, actually, the ICE officer basically tapped her on the front fender and stopped her and said, "You're going to be arrested." And she had to have a little come to Jesus moment, realizing that she could spend years in jail without her children. I want you to listen to this exchange. This is the principle I've been talking about. The Chihuahua pit bull principle. The Chihuahua acts like it can kick butt and all of that until the gate is removed. You're going to be witnessing a Chihuahua meeting a pit bull, and the pit bull is the ICE officer.
You're impeding with the federal investigation. We have you on camera. We actually have news reporters with us in vehicle. Your case will be referred over to Homeland Security investigation for prosecution.
Your case will be referred for prosecution for interfering.
You will be arrested. This is your last and final warning. Hold on a second, guys.
You're going to be arrested.
Give me your license, please.
Give me your license.
Now, wait, once again, tell you, you have cases in danger.
You put us in danger.
Put your vehicle and park and shut it off, please. I understand that you are impeding. Look where you are at. You are almost causing an accident. You are surrounded by federal agents.
She was surrounded by federal agents. It was kind of fun to watch.
Okay, I am the Deputy Field Office Director here, ma'am.
At this point, the ICE agents are surrounding the vehicle because she tried to block the officer, and now she's in a real world of hurt.
Stand by. We're running the name. We're going to refer this case over for enforcement.
This is where she starts begging, I'm a mom! I'm a mom!
I'm just a mom, please.
You got it?
I'm just a mom, please. I'm just a little yippee chihuahua.
Please, please, please. I'm just a mom, please.
Well, you should have thought about that, Mom, before you decided to mess with the big boys.
Riley?
Yes, please. I'm just
You
a
are
mom.
just, you turn around and get out of here. There you go. Slow down. Hey, hey, guys. I got it. I got it. Got it. Everybody break away.
He's telling the other officers who are about ready to go in there and drag her out of the vehicle because she's become a domestic terrorist. And he said he called them off.
Everybody break away.
I'm going home.
I'd say that's pretty benevolent.
Riley, look at me. Quiet. Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Okay, I need you right now.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Take a deep breath. I want you to pull over right here.
Yep.
And go home. Okay? Take a deep breath.
Can I just, I'm shaking.
You may leave. Please turn around. I'm going to stop traffic for you. Go. Okay?
Yeah, there you go. Little chihuahua got her, little spanking, little tap on the nose with a rolled up newspaper. That's what's going to happen. Because, the more emboldened that people get, like this woman and like those people in the church sanctuary yesterday, the worse it's going to get. And sooner or later, somebody's going to have to get a legal beatdown. And it's going to have to happen because they don't learn. Here's Keith Ellison talking with Don Lemon after Don Lemon invaded that church. And Ellison, of course, is trying to cover his own butt because he is in serious criminal jeopardy.
General, I know you know what's going on. I'm sure you've heard of what's going on. What do you think of this and what happened at the church and all that?
Well, let me tell you, I think that, the protest is fundamental to American.
It wasn't a protest. It was invading a sanctuary.
Society. This country started in a protest. And,
Wow.
It's freedom of expression.
No, it's not.
People have a right to lift up their voices and make their peace.
Not a church sanctuary.
And none of us are immune from the voice of the public. So quite honestly, I think that you got the First Amendment, freedom of religion, and the freedom of admission.
Again, the Democrat Party doing a death spiral to hell. This is the latest thing they bedded down with. Now they're cool with going into church sanctuaries and terrorizing people. It was narco drug boats. We love them. They're fishermen. It was Nicolas Maduro was great. And the Maryland dad. This is your Democrat Party. They're done. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama. He tells us about Relief Factor. Trying it for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain was gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I'm amazed at the relief I've gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. I've seen that kind of transformation myself, and hearing Brian's experience just reinforces why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you all. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
Somalis are all on welfare, and the Dems just seem to not care. Ilhan Omar, she needs to go. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. many are anti-Semitic. Their statements have been pathetic. They're a threat to all you know. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. They are always expressing hate of America. Why are they here? Must deport before it's too late. Talk about holiday cheer. Our language, they will not learn it. Own money, refuse to earn it. They are gaming the system so. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Shopify. You know, for years I have had a swag line of T-shirts with catchy phrases and whatnot, and it's just been lying there. Well, I've decided to go with Shopify and actually make money with my own business. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates you can customize to match your brand instead of just having a lousy website that nobody notices like I have been doing for years. Set up fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines, create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Newsmax. Go to shopify.com/Newsmax. Make building a successful business your 2026 New Year's resolution.
Yes, they have no Maduro. They have no Maduro today. They bombed him and grabbed him. The CIA nabbed him. In handcuffs he was hauled away. Maduro has been indicted, and Venezuelans are excited because they have no Maduro. And they thank the U.S. of A. Nicholas has been captured. His freedom's been taken away. Maduro is so vile, his wife will stand trial. We are gonna make them pay. Yes, they have no Maduro. They have no Maduro today.
You're leading by just 3 points, and coach decides to go for it on 4th down. What did he say to you in that huddle, and how did you execute it?
That's one thing about our team. We're always going to put all on the line. And, I want to give all the glory and thanks to God there. My offensive lineman blocked perfectly, and we're able to execute the team towards a common goal, have the Indiana Hoosier synergy to score, and then give our team a chance to win the game.
How did you get it in there, though? You had to go airborne, Fernando.
I had to go airborne, and I'll die for my team. Whatever they need me to do, they need me to take, shots from the front and the back, whatever it is, I'm going to die for my team out there, and I know they're going to do the same for me. That's what makes us so close, and that's what makes this national championship so special.
I love this guy, Fernando Mendoza. The spirit of Charlie Kirk is alive and well. It is. It is. What a good and decent young man. What an extraordinary human being. What an amazing moment to watch. I haven't watched college football in a while. I grew up in Southwest Iowa, and you were either a Hawkeye fan or you were a Husker fan. We were Husker fans, right? So we watched the Nebraska Cornhuskers. When they used to play Oklahoma, it was a big rivalry. Nebraska was always, way up there in the top 10 and all that. And we watched it a lot when I was a kid, but I just kind of fallen away from it because I've lived in cities that maybe the college football not so good. Minnesota. Cincinnati, to some degree, more of a basketball town than anything. But I was enthralled by this game last night. It was outstanding. It was just outstanding. His rushing QB was it was an extraordinary rushing QB. But that it was the quarterback who did it was even better. And they showed his arm afterwards. It looked like he'd been in an Iranian prison. I mean, honestly, his arm completely bruised, playing through the pain. And he also was apparently turned down for a scholarship at the University of Miami. Isn't that the way it goes, right? Isn't that the way it goes? It's kind of funny. But I'm glad for Indiana. It's funny. I moved here. And I hadn't seen the movie Hoosiers in a long time, so I decided to watch Hoosiers again. It's a great movie. It's about a high school team in Indiana. They had 5 people on the team. That was it. So you played the entire basketball game, no sitting down. And they ended up winning the national championship. Last year, my high school, Neola, Iowa, little Tri-Center High School, won its first state championship. And they're like Class D because they're tiny little. But it was really cool. My little high school, Tri-Center High School. Thank you very much. In Neola, Iowa. That's my high school. So I just think that it was neat. And I've told you, this is a God movement. This is a God movement. This is what's happening here. And look at the death spiral of the left. The death spiral of the left. They can't find joy in anything. Listen to this. I want you to hear this. This is Brandy Cruz. She does a podcast called Undivided. She's talking to a doctor about OD deaths in America. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the Democrat Party, when they were charging Joe Biden to open the southern border, hundreds of thousands of young people died from fentanyl poisoning. It wasn't an OD, it was poisoning. They would get online because you wanted an Adderall or whatever, and it turns out it was laced with fentanyl. This is murder. The Chinese have never been held accountable for it. They were involved in it. Donald Trump consequently has gone after Venezuela. They're tight. They're not. They're just doing cocaine. Oh, shut up. Honestly, I'm so done with you stupid morons on the left. Donald Trump, by the way, going after the cartels in Mexico, and I've heard they're sending in these. They've already got these surveillance planes. So what they're doing right now, don't tell anybody. I think they're surveilling and they're painting targets, and they're going to blow the snot out of them. But literally 96% of the incoming drugs via sea has been cut off. And the Democrats hate it because you know what they did? They called them fishermen. And then Rand Paul said, that's an act of war. You can't do that. And the Democrats complained about it. And then, of course, they went and got Maduro, who sponsored all of this. And the Democrats caterwauled. They held a big protest at, bring back Maduro, because they're so freaking broken and bankrupt. And then they did the No Kings before that, and then they did that Elon Musk is a Nazi before that, and then now it's the next thing. What about Renee Good? Renee Good, you murdered Renee Good. That's already gone. It's already gone. They're just stupid children, and they're going to get their what for. They're going to get their what for from the adults in the room. A story coming up here. Ilhan Omar is getting a much deserved. Legal colonoscopy. But listen to this doctor talking to Brandy Cruz. I'm sure the Democrats would think this is bad news that so many people are not dying of drug overdoses.
I will tell you something that I haven't said publicly yet, and it deserves to be said. We were seeing 10 to 12 overdoses a day, and we are seeing maybe 1 or 2.
Donald Trump is putting drug dealers out of business. How are they supposed to make a living?
Sometimes we go 3 days without seeing an overdose of fentanyl. So closing our borders and doing the things that he is doing, I am 100% behind. Wow. It really has made America better in the healthcare system, in the war against drugs.
I met what you guess you can call her a Gold Star mom. Her young daughter died of fentanyl poisoning, and she would have been 20 this year, the age of my daughter. But the Democrat Party didn't give a damn about it. Did you ever hear the word fentanyl come out of Joe Biden's mouth in 4 years? No, you didn't, because this Democrat Party is evil and they're doing a death spiral into hell. Donald Trump put on a Truth Social post. Fiery Truth Social post. $19 billion Minnesota fraud. Fake Congressman Ilhan Omar, a constant complainer who hates the USA, knows everything there is to know. She should be in jail or even worse punishment, sent back to Somalia, considered one of the absolute worst countries in the world. She could help to make Somalia great again. And she's in some trouble because, she used to be worth nothing. And like so many people in Congress, particularly Democrats, they go there and they get super wealthy. And now we know it isn't because of insider trading like Nancy Pelosi. There's a million other ways to make all sorts of corrupt money in D.C.
Woman Ilhan Omar's net worth went up nearly $30 million. The question is how. Here's what we know. Omar's husband, a former political consultant, owns a venture capital firm based in Washington, D.C. and a winery in California.
Nobody has heard of the venture capital firm, by the way, on Wall Street.
Take a look at these numbers. In 2023, Omar disclosed a maximum of $50,000 in assets at the winery.
Wow.
The next year, Dana, that number increased to $5 million.
Wow.
Meanwhile, her husband's company rose.
I'll bet if they went to the winery, there'd be a closed door, and I'd say they might misspell wine, like maybe call it W-H-I-N-E or something.
Capital reported a maximum of $1,000 in assets in 2023.
Wow.
The next year, it was $25 million. Despite that, Omar denied being a millionaire earlier this year, posting on X, quote, "I barely have thousands, let alone millions." House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer tells Fox News an investigation is underway, writing, quote, "The committee is working on addressing ethics concerns regarding Representative Omar and her spouse, and we hope to have..."
We got to start seeing some arrests, damn it. That's all there is to it. We got to start seeing some arrests because... it's obvious. Dear God, it's obvious there's fraud. Obviously, there is fraud. Mexico was in on it. Donald Trump's going to put the heavy on Mexico. And Mexico is a giant sucker fish on America's belly. They can't exist without the United States. And they've had a lot of hubris, like Ilhan Omar, mouthing off saying, you deserve to give us this and you deserve to give us that. All America would have to do is say, we're going to end all trade and travel and you're dead. That's all we'd have to do to Mexico. And it's a shame because the leaders of Mexico have done this, because the people of Mexico worked their butts off, by the way. I have a great deal of respect for my brown brothers and sisters who come here and they drive, Ford F-350s with ladders on the back and drywall and all of that. They bust their butts all day. I'm going to get to this story coming up here. 50-plus consulates in America from Mexico, a shadow campaign to sway U.S. elections against Donald Trump and conservatism. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Hey, guys, it's Carson from Birch Gold, a new... So you may notice on the stream I changed outfits during the break. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Capitol Hill today. It's like Mr. Smith goes to Washington, Metallica version, I guess, of that. So I'm going over there. I'm going to meet some lawmakers. This is my first time over there. So I'll do my best to share on all my social media at Rob Carson Show, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all of that. And I put a lot of stuff up there, not necessarily just politics. Last night I shared, so funny, I live in an apartment now, right? It's a temporary thing. I hope to, get a regular house eventually. It's a transition thing. And I thought I'd make the most of it. And I found a chair by the dumpster. And I said, dang, that's a nice chair there. And it's a little sitting chair. I'm going to put it up in the loft. We have a little loft there. If I have guests stay over, they can stay up in the loft. I've got a 1-bedroom apartment, but I made it into a 2-bedroom because I made the loft into a little guest area. And I found this chair, and I just got some Woolite. It's a spray foam stuff that I got online. Cleaned it up, put it up there, and I posted that video on social media. You never know what I'm going to put up there. Honest, I know it's a little unorthodox. We're used to just desk-pounding punditry, but not so much with me all the time, by the way. So Mexico's election plot unmasked how Mexico's 50-plus consulates running a shadow campaign to sway U.S. elections. According to Peter Schweitzer, who wrote Clinton Cash many years ago, he's written a number of great books, and he's spectacular. Mexican consulates across the United States running a shadow campaign to bend American elections in favor of Mexican interests, like the open border and all that. It's called The Invisible Coup, How American elites and foreign powers use immigration as a weapon. More than 50 consulates blatantly interfering in our domestic politics, working with American political advisors to turn legal and illegal migrants inside the U.S. into a political force to wield for their benefit. Here is Peter Schweitzer talking about this. I believe he was talking to Steve Bannon.
China and the United Kingdom have 6 and 7, respectively, consulates in the United States. Mexico has 53, and they are involved in our partisan politics, basically supporting Democrats, and they are interfering in our elections. And the meeting that you laid out took place in May of 2024. There were consular officials. These are Mexican diplomats from Los Angeles to Orlando who gathered in Oklahoma City. They were addressed by the Mexican foreign minister. Officials arrived from Mexico City. And the only other group of people at this meeting, Mark, were Democratic Party activists, organizers. And the conversation, I quote from the transcript, we got a copy of the transcript. The conversation included statements like, we helped to turn California from red to blue. We helped to turn Arizona from red to blue. We need to turn the rest of the country from red to blue. President Trump and Republicans are going to learn, if you F around, you're going to find out. In other words, it was a threat because of the immigration policies you're pushing. We, the government of Mexico, are going to mobilize our resources to try to defeat you. As far as I'm concerned, Mark, they should not have 53 consulates. We should kick these diplomats out that are engaging in these partisan political activities.
Yeah, it's about time for Mexico to get a little wet. He was on with Levin, I guess, is what that was. Former President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador toured American cities February 2017 when the purpose of rallying Mexican migrants in the U.S. against President Donald Trump's border policies, which crippled drug cartel profits through strict immigration enforcement. Wow. Kind of wonder why the Democrats are like, oh, we don't care if fentanyl flows across the border, so like somebody's getting paid a little something. What do you think? What do you think? I think we're finding a connection. Really, really, honestly, Mexico, what the hell? What are you thinking? I suggested that we shut down the border, end all travel and trade with Mexico. See how long they last. Ticks don't last very long when there's no blood to suck. And again, I love the people of Mexico. Some of the best people I've known. Met many of them using English translation and just I love them. So gold has gone up $100 in a day. Gold $100 an ounce, up to $47.52, pushing at $4,800. Last year at this time it was $2,700. And it's not going to come down. I mean, you look at the acceleration. Look what's happening right now in the world. Look what's happening with the New World Order and Donald Trump in Davos. He's turning the world upside down in a very good way. He's upsetting the apple cart. All right. And so it's a dynamic situation. Central banks are buying gold. Gold is becoming more precious by the day. And it used to be just this kind of, okay, you buy it. It's a comfort investment. You may sell it in 20 years. Oh, no, not anymore. Not anymore. It's dynamic. It's amazing. Silver's the same way. It was $30 last year. It's 94 today. Silver is 94 today. I've been fighting these silver coins that I've had forever, and now all of a sudden I'm looking at them a different way. They used to be worth $20, whatever. Oh, no. They're worth a lot more now. They really are. The silver goblets I had to sell when I was unemployed were worth a lot of money. Now I know I had to when I was unemployed. I sold everything precious I owned. My dad's retirement ring, that was gold. My high school class ring, that was gold. It was bad. It was a bad time. If you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold offers a rebate up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility, start the process. Just text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. You're still eligible for a rebate up to $10,000. It ends the end of this month. It ends in 10 days. It's already the 20th, for goodness sake. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 to claim your eligibility today from Birch Gold. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required. Streamers?
Oh, yeah, streamers.
The team's looking good this season.
I almost got up and put my belt and my shoes on because I'm getting ready to go over to the Capitol. Yeah, the feed did suck today, didn't it, Carrie? But that's my problem, I guess. So, it's pretty wild. I try to get some help, and I can't seem to get any help. So, what are you going to do? I apologize. SAMP X9B, you're brand new here. No more trans generals and admirals. Yeah, that's gone. That stuff's gone, by the way. Gone. Oh, the stream's clogged up again. Yay. And somehow it's my fault being the host. Remarkable. Got a whole bunch of people streaming over on the Facebookage. You guys commenting? Let's see who's over here. Chris Schwab, you're still there. Pranay, Rupashat, you guys, you've hung through it all today, haven't you? So, yeah, Rob's still frozen. I know. He's still frozen after all these years. All righty. Well, I'm going to get ready to go to Washington, D.C., to the Capitol in a second here. So I will, again, keep you abreast of everything that's going on when I get over there. Trying to think what I'm going to do here. Oh, yeah, let's do Randy Fine. I got some stuff here. All right. America Marcy, hello. How you doing today? We're getting a buttload of snow this weekend, anywhere from 3 to 20 inches. Who the heck knows? They're reporting different things. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm just going to chill out. I'm a block away from my gym. I'll work out. I'll chill at home. It's going to be amazing. All right, here we go.
99.9 FM in Harford County.
Yeah, the law says that these protesters are in trouble. There's a federal statute called FACE, F-A-C-E, that says if you interfere or physically obstruct another person's First Amendment right to exercise their freedom of practicing their religion, it is a federal crime. Now, had these protesters stood outside the church, been on the sidewalk, been on the street, they likely would have been protected by their First Amendment right to protest. But you're allowed to protest in a public forum, but that right is not absolute. They crossed the line when they went inside a church, and I think of it almost like, a church is public property. Imagine if protesters went inside a hospital to protest Medicaid or health policy and interrupted treatment of patients.
Yeah, but you see, patient treatment isn't one of the bill of rights. What they've done is unacceptable. I went off on it earlier this morning. I'm not going to try to get worked up a little bit on this, but some people need to go to jail. And Christian soldiers, are you listening to me? They killed Charlie Kirk last year. They caterwauled and howled like demons when he died. Now they're going into churches and interrupting the most sacred thing you can imagine, the most precious and private and wonderful thing you could imagine, your worshiping of the Creator. And the crap's got to end. This is Lee McGowan trying to defend what these protesters have done, because Democrats will defend anything.
ICE officers have been going into hospitals. They have been going into churches. Donald Trump said...
No, they haven't. They have not gone into a sanctuary at all. They have not done that. They've waited outside of sanctuaries, and it just so happens, for some reason, criminals still go to church.
They were allowed to go into churches. They're going to schools. They're picking out parents from drive-by lines. And these people in the neighborhood just found out that their pastor of the church is a high-ranking ICE official. So I think if you're a church that has an ICE person as a pastor, it's already political.
No, that's absolutely wrong. Even if that person was a politician, city councilman, mayor, it wouldn't make the church political.
And he's running the church. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think this has... I know, but I don't think this has anything to do with faith, and I think that the community is making it a faith issue. I think this is about politics and power.
Faith, and I'll tell you what. It was inside a church, and religious practice was going on inside the church. They basically allegedly stormed into the church, interrupted it, disrupted it.
Yeah, but I guess it's okay, because it's not a mosque. They probably wouldn't care if it was a synagogue. It used to be a big deal if it was a synagogue, but the Democrat Party hates Jews now, too. This is it. This is it. Charlie Kirk, I told you, when he died, it wasn't a turning point. It was the turning point. This is the turning point on this movement. This is it. We're done. We're done. We're done with you childish freaks. We're done with the temper tantrum thrumming. We're done. We're done. We're done. If your church doesn't have security and you're in a prone position, get security. The rest of us, homeboys, Hebrews, and hillbillies, we must be ready to prevent this nonsense from going any further. God bless you. America is founded. Donald Trump in this great country. I'll report from Capitol Hill tomorrow. In the meantime, don't catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
All right, Rob, you have a good night. Have a good time.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.